For Crema Media's Polity, I'm Sane Dhlamini. Researcher and analyst Professor Raymond Suttner joins me for Suttner's View, a weekly commentary on South Africa's political scene. Welcome, Professor.
Thank you.
We've recently learned that Public Protector Mkhwebane has quietly released a report in February trying to shield Mosebenzi Zwane as well as the ANC SG now, Ace Magashule. And now the report is pointing fingers to those two. Do you think she was doing this on purpose?
Well, she's not, it's not proved conclusively that she has shielded them. That's an allegation which has to be tested in court. But it seems to be part of a pattern that she does things in a way that leads people to question whether she's impartial, whether she's trying to find ways of protecting people who were associated with the Guptas or with Jacob Zuma. And in this case, it appears that some things she didn't investigate at all. Now, she claims that she was not tasked with investigating that at all anyway, and that CASAC, who are bringing this court action, refer to provisional reports of the previous public protector, and provisional reports don't have any status, so she wasn't obliged to follow that.
And going back to CASAC, we know that they are saying that she removed some of the remedial actions that were suggested by former public protector Thuli Madonsela. Do you think this will put her in hot waters?
You see, even if the previous public protector did suggest certain remedial actions, the new public protector has to do her own investigation and then decide whether or not to follow those. But what they're really accusing her of is not investigating Ace Magashule and Mosebenzi Zwane. However, she is saying that technically she wasn't required to do that. Whether that is so or not depends on what the courts say, but it does appear that she was obliged to do that and she chose not to. But I don't want to preempt what the court will decide.
And we know that the multi-million rand Freddie farm was meant to empower black farmers, but it didn't happen. So now we know when she was being interviewed for the post, the DA especially was complaining that she's not the right candidate for the position. Are we likely to hear anything from the opposition party now that this is out?
Well, I think the reason why, not just the opposition parties, the reason why the public in general is concerned with the impartiality of the public protector and her fitness for office is that she's made a number of legal mistakes, wrongly understood her brief, wrongly understood her powers. For example, in the case concerning ABSA and the Reserve Bank, she was not mandated to investigate the independence of the Reserve Bank, and she did this. The man who made the complaint, I think it was Advocate Hoffman, says, I never asked her to, I never complained about the Reserve Bank's independence, and she came with a recommendation independent of that. And what emerged later is, before doing her report, and it's not in the report, she doesn't say it in the report, she consulted with former President Jacob Zuma. So all of these things are leading, and there are other things. The first thing she did when she got into the new office, they used to have ENCA playing there, she changed it to ANN7. Now, who other than a person who is supportive of the Guptas will have ANN7 as the basic TV station in their office? There's also the thing, DA opposed her appointment, saying that she had been a member of the intelligence service. But I myself wouldn't say that that is a barrier. However, in recent times it's emerged that she has certain vacancies in her office, financial officer, people who have to be trained. And the place she goes to get people to work in the office is the intelligence service. So if the DA, EFF, who voted for her to be appointed, and other parties want her removed, there's a lot of information apart from the Vrede farm. We shouldn't think that if they want to remove her, that they would only rely on the Vrede dairy farm. However, to remove the public protector requires a special majority. I don't remember if it's 75% or something like this, a huge majority. And it's hard to say which way the ANC will go. They may go for her removal, I don't know. But she doesn't seem to, I don't think it's because the previous public protector was wonderful and you compare her. I think just looking at what she does on her own, she does not seem to have the qualities of independence and the understanding of the law and the law applicable to her job to stay in the position.
Obviously, this has tainted the credibility of her office. So now we know that President Cyril Ramaphosa, ever since he took over from Jacob Zuma, has been preaching the issue of bringing a new dawn. Do you think our public protector now represents that new dawn?
Well, the public protector was there before Cyril Ramaphosa became president. And I don't think the new dawn, she should be expected to be part of whatever Cyril Ramaphosa is wanting to do, except if she has to investigate state-owned enterprises. Well, she must clean up corruption, but she ought to have been doing this before, because that's part of the independence of her job.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
That was Professor Raymond Suttner speaking to Creamer Media's Polity about whether the public protector is fit for the job.